Hello again, we are back. There's been a little bit of news recently, and it came out when we've both been busy.
Yes.
You've been on your holiday. How were your holidays, by the way?
It was nice, yeah, it was really
Yeah,
good.
you just-
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Happily
Next time I
going
want
again.
4 weeks' notice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I gave you notice. I booked it back in December.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me.
I thought I did. Sorry.
Professionalism, honestly. No, I'm joking. Where'd you go?
Edinburgh.
Any Zygons about?
No.
I can't think of many of the Scottish Doctor Who connections. Peter Capaldi knocking about anyway?
No.
He's
No,
Glasgow,
he
isn't he?
wasn't. Yeah, he's... Well,
David Tennant?
I don't know where David Tennant's from in Scotland, but no, I
Sylvester
didn't see
McCoy?
him. No.
Shooty Gatwa?
No, he's been busy, yeah.
What's he been busy? Oh, that's right. New series of Doctor Who coming very soon. Last time we filmed, we didn't even know the date it was coming out, and since then we've had all the episode titles, all the writers, the directors, 2 trailers, and an air date, and some
And
very
time.
and time, yeah, because this has caused a bit of a stir, more than I
Yes.
thought it would.
Yes, it has.
Now, if you haven't been, if you been living under a rock or something, you will have missed the fact that Doctor Who Series 1, which is still going to take some getting used to,
Season 44.
40,
40.
yeah, nearly.
I got a 4 in there.
You got 2.
Yeah.
If
I
you haven't-
can't count.
Yeah, it's been announced that it will be released simultaneously on. Obviously, we have this Disney Plus deal.
Yep.
iPlayer in this country, but it's being released simultaneously. Now, a lot of people have taken this to see that America are getting it first. They're not. That's how time works. America is far away. We are far away on this side. Therefore, the time moves. So yes, they are getting it on May the 10th, and we're getting it on May the 11th. But it's exactly the same second around the world.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because a lot of people have also taken issue with the fact that a midnight drop means that they're either going to have to stay up to watch it or they're going to have to stay off the internet until the evening. Get a life.
Yeah, there is more important things to do than sit and scroll through Twitter. I mean, we're gonna stay up and watch it. Let's not lie about that.
Yeah, but I'm doing that because I want to stay up and watch
Yeah.
it. Like, I can't think of the last time I stayed up to midnight to watch anything since Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
I can't think of to have that with Doctor Who. Like, we've quite often done like watch parties and stuff where we've had like cheese and biscuits and wine and beers and lots of beers.
We can actually have lots of beers this time.
I was thinking of hot chocolates and Maltesers.
Oh,
But we'll probably have some beers, let's be honest.
yeah.
It's
I was
us.
gonna say one of us has really got a problem.
Yeah. And
Aye. True.
as a lot of people have been saying that, it's not fair to make people wait to stay up to watch it. It's not fair to make people stay. No one's making you do anything.
Yeah, you don't have to do it in the UK as well. It's showing at its prime time slot as well on the Saturday night. So
Yeah, I would find it weird if it wasn't on BBC One, but we knew from the start it was going to be on BBC One and iPlayer in this country. We knew that from before we knew about the Disney Plus deal.
Yeah.
Like, that was confirmed ages ago. The Disney Plus deal comes in, and that only affects people outside of the UK anyway. Like, we don't even have to worry about that. You could choose to watch it at midnight. You can watch it with your breakfast. You can watch it in the afternoon. You can watch it when it goes live on BBC One. There's 2 episodes coming out as well. So
Yes.
like 2 new episodes of Doctor Who in one day. Eurovision in the evening. That sounds like my ideal Saturday night.
yes, we are. That's why I was thinking we're gonna have drinks.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do Eurovision sober, can you?
Oh no.
But I think it's an interesting way of doing it, for sure. It's
Yeah.
very much, I think a lot of people, I think a valid criticism that I did see is that it's a more convenient time for America than it is over here. But at the end of the day, when Disney are the one that are piling the majority of money into this series,
Yeah.
you're going to have to expect things like this. Like, did you just think that Disney would go, there you go, there's a load of money and just give it to us when you finish? Of course they're going to have some sort of input. It might not be creative, but this is where it's going to be, the input for everything.
See, I have no sympathy for Americans on, for people complaining about broadcast times and stuff, because I'm a wrestling fan, and wrestling is very much America.
Yeah.
Or Japan, and you got to wake up stupid clock in the morning. Like WrestleMania's this weekend, and when this goes out, will have been. And I'd have stayed up to watch all of it. And it starts at midnight.
Yeah.
You just got to put up with it. It is what it is. Or you can wait till later in the day and have a life and watch it in the evening.
I just find it's bizarre that, people have complained about Doctor Who not being on so long, and here we're getting 2 episodes, and Doctor Who is now more accessible than it has ever been.
Yeah.
Like, the last time something like this happened with Doctor Who was the 50th, when it was simulcast, like, in so many countries around the world. And that was always going to be, that was looked at as like a one-off, like, look at this cool thing for the anniversary. This is going to be a precedent now for every single episode for as long as this Disney deal lasts, which
Yeah.
I think is probably going to be the way Doctor Who goes now, to be honest.
Yeah.
The way things are
Everything's
going with the BBC
streaming
at the minute.
Everything's going to a streaming platform now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. Like, hell, again, WWE's going on Netflix in 2025.
Yeah. Stuff like that,
Yeah,
you know.
it's insane.
Already little things like things like rugby, for example.
Yeah,
Some
it's all
games
on
like that on
Prime.
Amazon and stuff.
Same with Premier League.
Yeah, you know, it's just the way that TV works now. And all these people complaining about that, like how many of them actually sit down and watch things? Like, do you often sit down and watch something as it goes out on a TV channel?
No, my mum complains about people doing that and then sits and watches NCIS on my Disney Plus account on the big TV downstairs.
To be fair, I think isn't NCIS on like a similar deal with Disney
It's on
now?
Disney, yeah.
Where
It's
it's
all
like
on
Disney are the
Plus,
distributors, yeah.
Yeah. So they have every episode on there. She sits there and watches it and complains that people aren't watching like normal TV regularly. Discuss. This isn't the place for that.
This is
No, we're going off on one hell of a tangent.
Hello, Mrs. Tom. That's wrong.
Love you, mum, but sort your shit out. We'll take that out.
Or will we? Because I'm the one that edits it. That was an odd little tangent.
Yes, it was a bit.
But yeah, it is like a factor now into big shows like this and big. You know, it's not like this is Gardener's World or that's a magazine like Antiques Roadshow or something.
Yeah.
This is Doctor Who. This is like probably the biggest thing Disney haven't got if you think about it.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe Star Trek. I think those are the only like if you think they've got Marvel, they got Star Wars. You know,
They got
like, all of Fox stuff. You know,
They've got a lot of 5-star on there as well.
Yeah, you know, and I think for them to have like a part ownership of it, it's like them basically the one to go for because there's a market for it, and it can bring Doctor Who to a whole new I think more people are going to be watching Doctor Who going forward now than ever before.
Purely because of accessibility.
Yeah, because there's so many countries that don't get it, or they don't get it for months afterwards. Now everyone gets it at the same time, you know, and you can watch it whenever. Like, you know, the Star Wars stuff, for example, that comes out at times to America, and then over here over here it's just you just watch it in the evening or in the afternoon, whenever.
Yeah, you just kind of.
You have that flexibility with it now.
Yeah, it's ideal because it's once it's up on BBC iPlayer, it's up there for forever. Then it's not going to be like it has to wear on BBC One first and then it goes onto iPlayer.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think it'll ever be an iPlayer exclusive because there's still a market for Doctor Who fans that aren't necessarily like big into streaming or big out you know the casual fans who will go, oh, Doctor Who's on, that's cool, I'll watch it when they see it's on. You know, and there's a much, not necessarily, trying not to be ageist here, but there is an older audience of Doctor Who as well, who aren't bothered about Disney Plus and iPlayer and all that, and will just watch it when it's on. So it's still catering for everybody, and it's just made it more accessible. And I get people might be annoyed and think, oh God, do I stay up? Do I stay off here? I will be doing
both.
Yeah, because I mean, any excuse to stay off Twitter is good in my books, to be fair. But yeah, let us know what you think about that in the comments, because there's some other news bits we've got to come in. We have had the announcement of Stephen Moffat returning to Doctor Who. I mean, we all sort of knew this was probably going to happen.
Yeah, he done a lot with Russell early on in the revival, and the episodes he wrote were really good.
I've got no problem with Stephen Moffat as a writer. I think he's written some great, and even during his show running tenure, he still wrote good episodes.
Yeah.
I just think his overall show running thing, I think he would have been benefited by having like a co-showrunner, like sort of someone to bounce off, because I think it was almost, especially after the 50th and the Capaldi era, I was like, it got quite stagnant for me. There were still gems in there, but they were much fewer and far between, whereas all the, some of his episodes all of them under Russell are all very high regarded, to be fair.
Yeah.
And even with good reason, because they're all good.
Yeah, even the duds of, what can be considered duds from that run.
Are there any of his that... The ones that he wrote?
The ones that he wrote, no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the
I
ones
thought
that
you
Moffat...
meant under his tenure. I was like...
Oh, right, yeah, there's
definitely duds. I mean, look at season 2.
I mean, but under the original Russell T Davies era, the ones that Moffat wrote were very good. They were really, really... And I think that, again, it's going to be similar to see with what it's like now having Russell T Davies back after so long out of the saddle, although it's a bit shorter for Moffat. And I don't think he's done as much as Davis did in between his gaps. But even then, him coming back with a new perspective and not having that burden of being the showrunner and just being able to turn up and go, right, this is my episode of Doctor Who, because there's been different theories about, and we'll get into that when we get into the trailers and stuff. But I think there's going to be some spectacular things to come, and I would quite be open. I'd be open to seeing Moffat come back, and do a few every so often.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to talk about the writers and stuff when we get into that. But yeah, trailers.
Yes.
We've had two.
We
And
have.
shall we refresh our memories with them?
Yes, I think we should.
I think we should too. Stand by for cutscene here of trailer in 3, 2, 1. This is help me edit, by the way. 3, 2, 1. No.
Give me the loving!
What do we think of that?
It got me interested. Not that I wasn't already, but yeah, it's very upbeat, and then as we'll find out, it gets a bit darker. But
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of worry about Shooty being able to do the darker stuff.
I think he's going to be better
He's going
at
to
that
smash it.
than
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to give him credit for to start off with, because, we're only at one episode into his tenure yet. So anyway, back to it. I am a professional editor. I've been there, Temby.
Where did he come from?
I don't know, he sort of popped up at the right moment. And then he spoke about time travel.
Ruby, you want to know my secret? I have the whole universe at my fingertips. And I'm all on my own. I'd love it if you came with me.
Who are you?
I'm the Doctor.
Lots of new outfits and a hologram of David Tennant, which went down, as well as you can imagine, with certain members of the fandom.
What if I change history by stepping on a butterfly?
Well, that's not gonna happen, is it?
Oh, what's wrong?
That to me screams Silurian as well.
Yes.
Like, I haven't seen many people mention that. They sort of go, oh, she's like a lizard or a bird or something. It's very Silurian-y.
Yeah.
This place is completely mad.
Things seem to be turning more and more.
Space babies!
Is that monster?
No, don't be silly. There's no such thing as monsters. They're just creatures you haven't met yet. There are powers beyond the universe, so vast. The whole world can
That clock chiming, I reckon, is to do with
This is what we're trying to stop.
Legend of Ruby Sunday.
I need to know she'll be okay. You'll keep her safe.
Same with
I will
that.
keep her safe. I promise.
I'm sure that won't come back to bite
All
anyone.
this time to realize what I'm here to do. We're gonna save the world.
Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Time may change me. But I can't trace time.
And that was the first trailer. Oh, we're about to have Fraser Hines on again. Right, okay. Pause that one. Otherwise, we're going to start paying him royalties.
Yes.
Lots to talk about in that. Lots of quick flashes. Nothing too sort of giveaway-ish. It's still quite vague. It sort of captures the spirit of it a bit. And it seems, although there's obviously tension to it, there's a lot of fun. It felt, that was my main takeaway when I watched it. I was like, this just looks fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of really interesting looking scenes. Like the Doctor screaming out of the TARDIS in space.
Yeah, I wonder what he's
Stuff
talking
like,
about.
yeah. Space, probably. I reckon the clock chiming, the hooded woman's all related to the Legend of Ruby Sunday. Same with Ruby going up in, like, notes and stuff.
Yeah, I think that was from the second episode, The Devil's Chord, which is, I think, the Beatles' Jinx Monsoon musical.
Yeah, effectively.
But I like that there's a lot of, it's not just about, look, oh, here's a new Doctor, it's like Ruby's quite heavily featured, and like they you can tell, like we said this in the Christmas special as well, that chemistry between them is clearly just like, it's there.
It almost feels like Ruby's kind of the soul, like the centre of all of it. Like everything's going to revolve, not like in the world revolves around me type thing, but everything is going to kind of tie into Her.
I've seen a lot of people suggest that. I kind of hope they don't because we've seen that a few times now.
We've seen it with Donna and it worked really well.
See with Donna and Clara, I
Mm.
think you could only do like, this is the most important woman in the universe X amount of times before you're like, well, how many most important women in the universe are there?
Yeah.
I like the dynamic between them. It's clearly very fun. They're good friends, and it's really fun. And it's got a hell of a backing song. Changes.
Yes.
What a tune. That's where the Disney money's coming.
Brilliant.
Just licensing that song probably. And yeah, I was very intrigued when we had that. But then roll on a week later, and we had a second trailer.
Yes.
I didn't think this was. I thought this trailer was going to be very similar to the Eurovision 60th one because we knew we were getting the titles. I thought it was going to be a couple of flashes and then title, couple of flashes, title. But it's it's another 2-minute trailer, and we're gonna.
Don't really get much in the way of titles in it, though, do you?
No, they were all released online with those
Separately,
cool
yeah.
graphics and things, which is quite cool. So a lot of people said that they'd like to see that sort of incorporated into the title sequence and have like a sort of graphic for. That's quite cool. That's quite different, and I think it would be good at setting the tone of the episodes. But anyway, trailer number 2 starting hopefully now.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Da, 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 da.
Yes, I am.
Give me the loving! Now, stay back! We are going to rock through time.
Oh, this is so Bridgerton.
This is Ruby.
You are wild, brave, rude. No, you made it worse.
Where shall we go? Anywhere!
It's you.
Space babies! Oh, is it the universe, man? Let's have a random landing.
Is it safe?
Listen to me. This is what we're trying to stop. All of life extinguished. You keep us safe. I will keep us safe.
Come on. We've got work to do.
There's a storm coming in.
You called. Honey, a much bigger bang than you bargained for. I will shatter this silly little battlefield into dust. In a heartbeat. Into dust.
That's a very Moffat line.
People, I don't have a home. But I have freedom. Catching monsters, getting into scrapes. So I keep moving on. To see the next thing. And the next. And the next. Have you ever felt so alive? And that's just the beginning.
Can we have that in the title sequence, please?
Yes.
Like an actual
Yeah, it does
animated
look-
logo.
Looks a lot better.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official document.
Time Space Visualizer YouTube channel. Now,
That was cheap. True though, do it, please.
yeah. Well, what do you want her to do? Not?
Yeah, true.
Please don't not subscribe. No. Yeah. And please don't unsubscribe either because it makes me feel really sad.
Cry. Anyways.
Yeah, so that trailer, bit different, bit more serious, felt like a more sort of standard trailer than the other one.
Yeah.
It felt a bit more what we're used to with Doctor Who trailers. I do like the fact that the Doctor is sort of, he feels a bit more sort of fast and loose, not in like a dangerous way, more like, he's obviously gone through the whole bi-generation and having the 14th Doctor sort of catch up with everything and process it. So now it's almost like a fresh start and you can almost feel that way, sort of like, oh, the universe is crazy and let's have a random landing. But, I feel like that's something that will probably come back to bite him in the ass a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's going to, like, where he's that excitable guy again, going around travelling, I think he's going to get himself into some situations that he could do without, that's going to really test him, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's, like, obviously we know that the Daleks aren't going to be involved in this series at all. But it is going to be strange to see no Daleks in this for the Doctor, because it's normally a make or break episode for a Doctor.
Yeah, but I think that
It's good. It's been
relying
overused,
Yeah,
like hell. But
they've been, I think, overused, and I think relying on the Daleks to get a good performance out of a new Doctor is also unfair on the actor playing the Doctor.
yeah,
Because, Eccleston didn't get his Dalek episode into Series 6, but by then he was at Series 6, Episode 6. But by then he'd already well established himself. I don't think you necessarily need a Dalek story straight away to establish a Doctor.
That's the same with Tennant, to be honest. He didn't have a Dalek story straight away.
Well, it wasn't until the end of the season, you know.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing of you don't necessarily need them, and I think it's quite nice to give it a bit of. I think having no returning monsters is something that's gonna refresh, keep that sort of feeling of fresh. It's what they did with Jodie's first series, and although individually stories didn't work, it did have a much fresher feel to it. Whether or not that worked successfully is, down to a personal opinion. For me personally, it didn't, but I applauded the sense that they were doing something new.
Yeah.
And that's what this feels like as well. Because one of the main criticisms about, Russell T Davies coming back and everything and bringing back David Tennant, it was like a case of, well, this is just like nostalgia baiting and it's not going to be anything new. But I think this feels new.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like any sort of Doctor Who we've had before. It's like this feels like we're going into this new era of the co-production with Disney Plus and everything. And there's, but it doesn't feel like it's been completely stripped away. There's definitely recognisable elements of Doctor Who. It feels like Doctor Who, but it feels like something new at the same time. And that's exactly what I wanted from this.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Thank you.
It's gonna be really refreshing. I'm just excited to see Shooty back in the role. Well, I say back in the role. It's only been since Christmas, but you know what I mean. It's gonna be nice to watch him playing the Doctor on weekly television.
Yeah.
For the 8 weeks after this,
7
weeks. Yeah, I forgot they're releasing 2 episodes in one.
Which is still the most amount of consecutive weeks Doctor Who's been on since 2020. So I'm not complaining.
Take it or leave it, innit?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna
take it. Yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? I've done it again. Another cliffhanger. This video turned out to be much longer than we anticipated, so we split into 2 parts. We did the trailer reaction, here is the news, as you've just seen. If you enjoyed that, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to us. And drop us a like and a comment. Let us know what you thought of the trailers, what you're excited for. And we'll be back in a couple of days with some predictions for Season 1, and one for each episode of the series, and a bit of discussion about sort of, the writers who have been announced and everything, and just, a bit of general speculation, which will probably be very wrong, because it usually is, and that's how it goes. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? So if you enjoyed that, we'll see you towards the end of the week.